Did you know that when you start asking a question, from the question itself, you can able to get an answer? Confidence is the way to overcome your imposter syndrome in English speaking. You will not ask this question, how to speak English fluently and confidently, if you have realized my insight. There are many different ways to become more confident and fluent in English. However, some methods are more effective than others. In this article, we will explore how to speak English fluently and confidently, using a variety of methods. Fluency means speaking with ease and confidence, like a native. Therefore, becoming a fluent English speaker can supercharge your career, open doors to exciting study opportunities, and help you connect with people all across the world. But thousands of people learn how to speak English fluently every year, and with enough determination, you can too. To help you out, we asked Preply's expert language tutors for their best advice on how to be fluent in English. Learning a new language can be difficult, but it can also be a rewarding experience. If you're striving to learn how to speak English fluently and confidently. Zrenia, there are a few things you can do to improve your spoken English skills. Foremost, it's important to practice regularly. Let me briefly elaborate on my top 10 spoken English strategies in this week's newsletter 21. An unbiased way that helped me to overcome my fear and imposter syndrome in speaking English, fluently and confidently. My top 20 spoken English strategies to know how to speak English fluently and confidently. 1. Confidence. Confidence is my key to overcoming the fear I used to have before while speaking with anyone in English. Oh gosh. Still, I remember those embarrassing moments when somebody always interrupted and corrected my grammar. So, how to speak English confidently? If you ask me how to speak English fluently in 10 days, it's never possible. Even some native English speakers also sometimes speak butler English when they don't have confidence in what they are talking about. So, confidence defines your first success in your spoken English journey. However, you can be more confident by preparing your mind for the conversation. The next strategy, Netflix of Prime Video, which exactly helped me to prepare my mind before going to any public conversation in my office meetings. 2. Netflix of Prime Video. As strange as it sounds, I too wondered what Netflix or Prime Video going to help me out on the topic. How to speak English fluently and confidently. But believe me, we did it before when we are a kid. Our favorite cartoons taught the languages like English and Hindi. Shows like Sherlock on Prime Video helped me actually to realize what is active vocabulary and passive vocabulary than my English teacher. Research and studies have proven that when you are watching something, your brain starts recognizing it even before you understand the language of the film or the video. Indeed, British web series like The Tunnel and Poldark will help you realize the shades of emotions in native British English. So, don't waste your weekends fully on Netflix or Prime Video, by the way. Consume Prime Video like a drug whenever you need it. 3. Self-practice, reading. You might be bored when I suggest you to self-practice by reading books. Even if you are lazy to read something, try to read your favorite genres. Perhaps you are a romantic girl trying to attract your crush, who's a sci-fi nerd smile. Reading books makes some difference in your spoken English journey. You can also try to read newsletters, newspapers, and magazines. If you are serious about the topic, I will suggest you read this book, The Quick and Easy Way to Effective Speaking Mass Market, which aspires at making its readers pro speakers. If you are an aspirant in public speaking, try it out. Ultimately, your reading habit will increase your thought processing in English. 4. Find a partner to speak with. Never forget to find a partner, not for love, but to speak English fluently and confidently. I would like to suggest these below-mentioned romantic books if you are not a nerd. 1. Paradise by Judith McNaught. 2. Voyager by Diana Gabaldon. 3. The Rivals by Vi Keelan. Speaking with a person or group will be easy to trial and error, checking your learning and knowledge you have gathered about English speaking. When you start talking with a real person, you realize where to implement what you have learned, and you will also understand what are your mistakes and where you need improvement. Never learn grammar in the starting stage because it will confuse you as a beginner. A great example is as a kid we learned how to speak our mother tongue without grammar. Hence, try to speak out and make mistakes, then learn grammar, which will be an effective way for non-native speakers like me. 5. Never afraid of mistakes. Failures and mistakes are the first 2 steps to your success. Do you agree with me? Then why do we need to worry about mistakes we may face while we are trying to speak English? Indeed, mistakes are the ones that educate us, not success. This point may sound like a motivational speech, but it's inevitable, right? So, never be afraid of mistakes you make in your spoken English. Italki is where I have learned to correct the mistakes whenever I make every day in my spoken English. For those who are seeking business English courses, let me introduce you to Italki, a global language learning community that connects students and teachers for one-on-one online language lessons. Italki is also passionate about allowing everyone to learn languages in the most personalized and authentic way possible. 6. LWRSR Method. Well, you will not get this method LWRSR in Google, which not even exists. I call it Listen, Write, Read, Speak, and Repeat method, shortly to LWRSR. This is the great method that answered my million-dollar question, how to speak fluently. If you want to start thinking about English, you have to listen to English first. When you listen the English everywhere, you can think in English. Writing is the most underrated skill that has potential benefits for your language speaking. Try this out. Listen to something in English and think about that topic from your perspective and try to write it on a white paper. Later, you can correct it by Grammarly to learn about your grammar mistakes and avoid them in the future. When you are started writing something, automatically you will be able to read it. I mean, that's how I learned to read the most complex sentences through my blogging and content writing passion that became a skill now. Confidence and your English-speaking partner will be your actual mentors to help you to become fluent in English. All you have to do is stick to this LWRSR method and repeat this always. 7. Audiobooks and podcasts. Audiobooks and podcasts are a great way to learn English. Not only can you hear real English conversations, so you can pronounce and practice that way how the words are pronounced, but you can also listen to them anywhere and pause or rewind them whenever you like. You can learn your way. Amazon Audible is a great alternative to Spotify. For those hoping to learn English, podcasts and audiobooks are a great place to start. They're fun and informative and often mimic the dialect of English you're likely to encounter on your spoken English journey more accurately than a textbook. Listening to audiobooks can immensely help you improve your English listening skill, which is a crucial part of English learning overall. I recommend listening to a certain point again if you get stuck on something. And also, keep the written version of it in front of you or see the subtitles that are available while listening to an audiobook. This way, you won't miss anything. 8. Talk to your mirror. As crazy as it sounds, this is the best way to practice your speech or get rid of your fear. You could start conversing with yourself by looking into the mirror, taking note of your posture, your words, how you speak, and everything. Works wonders, especially when you're just minutes away from addressing a group. When you speak in front of a mirror, you can see the way your mouth and face move as well as your other body language. Talking to your reflection can make you feel like you are having a conversation and will encourage you to experiment with an expansive vocabulary and new topics. 9. Persistence leads to perfection. When you have inner confidence, a burning desire to achieve your vision, you can become persistent on your spoken English journey. Your commitment to spoken English will also help you to become persistent, which leads to perfection in your spoken English. Getting as much speaking practice as possible is essential to quicker learning. If you're just swiping through a few levels on a language learning app at night, you'll be shocked when you finally come face to face with an English speaker. 10. Speak with an expert. When you are striving so hard and a bit worried about these strategies above not working for you, or if you think you are really bad at spoken English, you need to improve your English speaking skills first. If you want to practice and improve your English interview skills, you can also book a lesson with Italki English tutors. And if you have any questions about this article, you can also contact Italki. 11. Make the most of technology. How many apps to learn English do you have on your phone right now? Probably at least one. The digital age has revolutionized language learning, and it's easy to forget how lucky that makes us. There's a wealth of study technology available, so choose carefully. Make sure that you're using the most effective resources for your own study habits and not falling into the trap of relying too heavily on game-like apps. English learning apps have many limitations, and you will still need to mix up your activities to learn English faster. As John Fotheringham, creator of LanguageMastery.com, says, language apps are a great supplement to a balanced language diet, but they shouldn't be the main course. It's also easy to forget what a great resource YouTube videos are for English learners. There are more hours of expert advice on YouTube than any student could watch in a lifetime. Even better, almost every video can be watched with subtitles, played at slower speeds, and paused and replayed until you understand every word. 12. Use resources made for your level. Using resources that match your current skill level is vital for progression. Therefore, you'll need to determine what your level is before taking a course, engaging in self-study, or enlisting the help of a personal tutor. For a precise measurement, take one of Preply's placement tests. These tests accurately assess your language skills, identify your strengths, and pinpoint areas for improvement. Once you know your English language level, you can then study using resources perfect for your level. Want some suggestions? Then check out our overview of resources for different levels. A1 to A2. Beginners. If you're just starting out, gamified apps, children's books, and educational videos designed for beginners will help build a strong foundation with simple vocabulary and repetitive patterns. B1 to B2. Intermediate learners. As an intermediate learner, it's time to challenge yourself with slightly more complex materials. Try watching news reports without subtitles or reading simple novels and articles to expand your vocabulary and grasp of grammatical structures. C1 to C2. Advanced learners. For those at an advanced level, use resources like movies, podcasts, and books that native speakers enjoy. These materials will refine your fluency by exposing you to everyday expressions and idiomatic language with Context 13. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself. Improving your English requires stepping out of your comfort zone. Reviewing what you already know won't lead to real progress. Put simply, you want to always feel slightly uncomfortable when you're studying. For instance, if you usually watch shows with subtitles in your native language, switch to English subtitles. Once you get used to that, take it up a notch by watching without any subtitles. This progression not only sharpens your listening skills, but also boosts your understanding. Talking with native speakers is another fantastic way to push your limits. Whether it's through language exchange partners or a private tutor, English conversation practice immerses you in real language use. Along with exposing you to slang and various expressions, chatting in English with a real person challenges you to respond immediately, like a regular conversation in your native tongue. Just remember, the more you challenge yourself, the more comfortable you'll become using English in the long run. 14. Work on your pronunciation. Working on your pronunciation is helpful for a few reasons. We all need to be understood, and pronunciation practice helps us speak with clarity. This doesn't mean that you need to get rid of your accent, not at all. But it will be frustrating for you and other English speakers if they do not understand you. Some of the work in becoming fluent and pronouncing words clearly is physical. If your native language sounds very different from English, you will need to pay attention to moving your mouth and tongue in a new way. Native Spanish speakers, for example, sometimes say that speaking English for long periods makes their jaw ache. One exercise you can try is using Youglish, which is a tool where you can hear any sentence in a variety of English accents. This is great to repeat along to and practice your pronunciation, but it also improves your listening skills. 15. Learn whole phrases, not just individual words. Fluency is being able to speak whole sentences without hesitation. If you learn English one word at a time, it will be very hard not to hesitate when constructing sentences. That's because you'll have to translate every English sentence in your head from your native language word by word. There is another way. Learning new words as part of common phrases can ease mental strain when speaking. To take a very basic example, if you are learning the word tonight, it would help to try and learn a whole phrase, such as, "Tonight, I am going to." This way, when you need to discuss your plans for the evening, your brain has half of the reply prepared. There's less pausing and thinking involved. Learning lists of phrases in a new language is also known as sentence mining. Fans claim that it makes them able to use new vocabulary faster and memorize grammar more naturally. 16. Work on your idioms. Mastering idioms is a big part of sounding like a native English speaker and can help you understand what's going on in various situations. Do you work in an English-speaking office? Then knowing common workplace idioms can really help you communicate better. For example, here are some useful idioms. Back to the drawing board. Start over when a plan fails. Cut corners. Do something poorly to save time or money. Out of the loop. Not knowing what's currently happening. Touch base. Briefly check in with someone. Get the ball rolling. Start something important. Using these phrases can make your communication at work smoother. Also, knowing idioms related to your job or culture can improve how you talk with others. If you want to learn more idioms, cultural expressions, Preply has lots of great articles. You can make your language richer by learning our list of the most beautiful idioms. Looking for a laugh? Then check out these 10 funny English idioms. Struggling to understand British colleagues? Our blog post on British sayings can help you interpret what they've said in meetings and aid you with small talk on your coffee break. 17. Accept that you will feel uncomfortable speaking English. For almost everyone, speaking any new language means fighting through a fear barrier. This is completely normal. Your native language is a very precise tool for describing concepts. You are completely aware of the subtle implications your words carry, how to use irony and humor, and how word stress can slightly change the meaning of what you're saying. By comparison, speaking any new language feels like using a blunt axe. You can't say exactly what you mean. You might offend someone or make a fool of yourself, and you certainly won't seem as smart as you really are. It's intimidating. Few language learners talk about how uncomfortable this is. Language expert and polyglot Ollie Richards states that language learners have to have a tolerance for ambiguity. His method to learn languages quickly includes accepting confusion when learning a language. You're not going to understand everything or speak perfect English as you try to reach fluency, and that's okay. Real progress comes when you get over the embarrassment of putting yourself in English-speaking situations and allow yourself to make mistakes and learn from them. 18. Consider a big lifestyle change. It almost goes without saying the best way to learn to speak English is to move to an English-speaking country. If you're determined to speak English fluently and can relocate for a few months, this will save you a lot of time, as you will have plenty of opportunities to chat with native speakers to hone your skills. However, for most people, this just won't be possible. Don't worry if that applies to you, because there are other big lifestyle changes you can make to boost your English level, including the following. Get a job or intensive hobby that involves speaking English. You could always teach English speakers your native language on Preply. Clean out your spare room and use it to host English-speaking travelers via a service like Couchsurfing. If others in your household are learning English, create times when you speak only English together, perhaps at meal times on Monday evenings, or in the car fall in love with a native English speaker. This is a guaranteed way to learn to speak English like a native fast. Read our stories of people who have learned a language for love. All of these are big changes, but they're about building the language into your life. If you're speaking your native language 99% of the time, then of course, it's going to take a long time for English to feel natural. However, if there are English-speaking situations in your routine, your progress will seriously speed up. 19. Don't focus too much on English grammar. Native English speakers disobey the rules of their own language all the time. This is something you'll know if you've ever had to type out a recording of a spoken English conversation. Many British high school students don't know what phrasal verbs are, even though they use them all the time. Grammar rules are useful to be aware of. They're essential to study at some point. But they should be lower down your list of priorities than getting English speaking practice. Most of the time, you will be understood if your grammar isn't perfect. Aim to be understandable when chatting to native English speakers, and after a little bit of work, grammatical rules will start to sink in naturally. 20. Expand your vocabulary. Expanding your vocabulary is essential for becoming fluent in English, but it doesn't have to be a tedious process. Chatting with natives, reading books, or watching Netflix shows to learn English can naturally enhance your language skills by exposing you to new words. These activities immerse you in the language in an entertaining and meaningful way, making it easier to absorb new words and phrases. If you're looking to learn office-related English, you might start with the names of 18 office items that everyone should know. As you advance, delve into B2B business English terms and useful English words and expressions about finance. To efficiently learn and retain these new vocabulary words, techniques like spaced repetition are highly effective. This method involves reviewing words at increasing intervals to ensure they move from your short-term memory to your long-term memory using flashcards or apps. Final thoughts. Achieving fluency in English or any language is not a one-time milestone, but an ongoing journey of learning and practice. In fact, research shows that people continue to learn new words in their native language every day until middle age. So, even after you become fluent, it's important to keep practicing to maintain and enhance your English skills. Let this inspire you, not discourage you, and remember that the benefits of being fluent far outweigh the effort required. Becoming fluent in English will help you stand out as a stronger candidate when applying for jobs, boost your confidence, and help you connect with 1.46 billion speakers of this lingua franca. For more in-depth guidance on how to become fluent in English, check out Preple's English Fluency Handbook to start making progress today.